What's up? Today we're doing a Return from the Different Dimension deck. I think this one's actually really cool and really innovative, as well as being pretty decent. So as you can see, we are running a couple of tribute summons in this deck in the form of this guy. I can't even remember the name of this card, but this cannot be targeted by anything, spell traps, monster effects. It's a light, it's got 2400 attack, which is huge, and it only takes one tribute. The reason we run these is because of Return from the Different Dimension, so we can bring this back from the Banished after we tribute summon it. Sorry, no, with this one, the reason we run this one is because we can bring back anything from Return from the Different Dimension, even if it's like a Magician of Faith that's been banished, and then tribute summon for this. So this becomes like a free summon, and then it sticks around, and it's just a big untargetable creature, and it's a light, which is very, very nice. We've got Air Knight Parshaft. This is the one you want to be bringing back with Return from the Different Dimension, because when you use Return, everything gets banished again during the end phase. So if you bring this back, this becomes advantage by letting you draw a card when it inflicts battle damage, and it pierces, so it's always going to be inflicting battle damage even if it attacks something in defense position, unless it's a spy. Speaking of which, we do run triple Gravekeeper Spy. This is really good because you can use your own Nobleman of Crossout on it, and then Return from the Different Dimension, and you've got 3600 damage from those two cards alone. And then if you've got anything else banished, you can usually go for game. This is really good because it helps get out the tribute boys without going neg. It's a dark which recruits another dark, which is really, really good because of this card. So Strike Ninja is, I think, amazing in this deck because it's searchable by reinforcements of the army. It banishes 2 darks from your grave, which is really nice for Return from the Different Dimension. It can stick around to be used as tribute fodder for something like Parshaft or Magician Boy. So yeah, really, really cool. Because we're running Return from the Different Dimension, we're obviously running the Banish Warriors in the form of DD Warrior Lady and DD Assailant. This beefs up your Banish pile as well as gets rid of any problem monsters your opponent has. This cannot deal with defense position monsters, unfortunately, but we don't mind because it's got amazing stats and 1700 attack and 1600 defense. Very, very cool. Exiled Force, like I say, we're running reinforcements to the army. This is a no-brainer. It can destroy any monster, so a Tribute Summon Jinzo or a Face Down Magician of Faith. So you get great value from this boy. We run a copy of Blade Knight, really handy to deal with your opponent's flip effect monsters if it's the only monster that you have on the field. It's a light, which is really, really nice for chaos players, and 1600 beta, all around good card. And if it's the if you only have one card in hand, this becomes a 2k beta, which is nutty, and you can often throw all your resources down onto the field to make a big play, so that actually comes up more often than you would think. Speaking of big betas, we run Zombira the Dark. It's 2100, and each time it destroys an opponent's monster, it loses 200 attack, which is fine because then it's still 1900. It still beats over pretty much anything. And it's a dark warrior, so searchable by Rota. Comes in handy with Strike Ninja and Return from the Different Dimension. Just all around great card in my opinion. We've got Donzalug, so this is good because you can bring it back with Return from the Different Dimension, and even though it gets banished during the end phase, you'll still be knocking a card out your opponent's hand, so it still generates advantage. Really, really nice. It's a dark for Strike Ninja as well as Chaos plays. It's a warrior. Really, really nice. And this version has motherfucking handguns. Pretty cool. You got Cyber Jaw. It's a dark. It can help you grab other darks. It can help you beef up your graveyard for chaos players. It can set your flip monsters as well as search your combo pieces like return and solemn judgments and MSTs and stuff you need to win the game. This card is nutty in this deck. You've got Magical Merchant, similar kind of reasoning. You want to grab your combo pieces. It's a light, which is important because there's not a great deal of lights in this deck. It can mill cards in your graveyard that you need, and yeah, really good. You can set this as knockbait as well if you're wanting to use the next card, Magician of Faith, which is just standard because you want to be adding back all your power spells. Two of those. You've got Sangan, searches Magician of Faith, searches Cyberjaw, searches Don's Luke, searches DD Warrior Lady, Exiled Force, searches a whole bunch of shit. Gravekeeper Spy. Very good. You got Break the Magical Warrior, helps you go for game, is dark, big beater. You've got the Chaos Boys, so double Chaos Sorcerer. You could run 3 if you can think of something that you want to take out. Maybe it's like a tribute summon, but I think it's fine with 2. You've got your Strike Ninja as a searchable way to beef up your banish pile, and you can banish this with Strike Ninja and then bring it back if it was properly summoned, so that's very nice. You've got that boy, and on the spells we have 2 reinforcements of the army. You run, I think, like 6 targets. You've got Strike Ninja, DD Warrior Lady, DD Assailant, Exiled Force, Blade Knight, Zombira, and Don's Luke. So there's a whole bunch of targets. 7. So yeah, as a rule, I tend to have at least 3 for each rota that I use, like 3 targets, because Go for my games tend to go on for a while. So you want to make sure you're not drawing reinforcements to the army after you've drawn all your warriors. So yeah, and there's an extra one in there, so it shouldn't be a problem. You've got 2 Noblemen of Crossouts, very standard. As I say, this is also a combo piece in conjunction with your Gravekeeper Spies, so very nice. Stable spells, you've got Pot of Greed, Snatch Steal, helps you go for game. Premature Burial isn't always necessary in every Go deck, but because we are running these bad boys, Premature Burial becomes amazing. It becomes a +1 with this, or just helps you secure your board with this bad boy if you're worried about your opponent making Thousand Eyes Restrict or anything like that. Prem is also really good because you can grab back your Don's Luke, so that helps you gain advantage basically. So you don't even mind if this dies to like an MST or something because you've already gained advantage from it. It can also be used with Exiled Force to keep popping like face down monsters if your opponent keeps setting, or a big boy. So yeah, Prem is very good. You've got Mystical Space Typhoon. We're running a big push kind of deck. You want to clear your opponent's back row before you make said push. Heavy Storm, same principle. You could argue that Giant Trunade might be better because you do run a lot of traps, but I mean, heavy's heavy. It's usually a +1 or more. So you got Graceful Charity, very standard, and onto the traps. So we run 2 Return from the Different Dimension. 3's a bit much. This is really good. Kind of what the whole deck is about. The main win condition. You've got Dust Tornado. As I say, when you make a big push, you want a nice clear back row on your opponent's side of the field. This helps you do that. Very nice. Same goes for Solemn Judgment. This is extra insurance against your opponent's spell or trap. So you set this along with your Return from the Different Dimension, and then you can activate Return without any fears of Torrential or Mirror Force. So very nice. It can also be used to stop like BLS or Nobleman of Crossout if you really want to keep your Spy or Magician of Faith. So very versatile card, very good. And last but not least, you've got the 4 Staple Trap cards. So yeah, that's the deck. Let me know what you think. I think it's really cool. It's pretty decent. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Bye.